The Yale Assure 2 Plus smart lock is one of the only smart locks with HomeKit support to date that I haven't used, so I wanted to try it out and see how it compares to others on the market. It does have some pretty unique qualities, which we'll cover. We'll also talk about the different options, installation, all the features. I'll share with you the pros and cons that I've found, and ultimately help you determine if this would be a good addition to your smart home. Let's go. Yo, what's up guys? My name is Shane and this channel is all about helping you build an easy Apple Home smart home with new videos and live streams every week. So Apple HomeKit is one of my absolute favorite features in my smart home. If you don't know what that is, it's essentially this little digital key that lives in your Apple Wallet. You can simply tap your iPhone or Apple Watch to the lock to unlock it. And the great thing is you don't even have to unlock your iPhone to use this feature, but we'll get more into all that in just a minute. Just know I have said that I will never get another smart lock without this feature. I do love it that much. So when Yale sent me out the Yale Assure Lock 2 Plus with HomeKit support, I was super curious and just had to try it out. Now this video is not sponsored by Yale. I have no obligations to them at all, but they did send me out this for free so that I could test it out regardless. You're gonna get my honest thoughts and feedback here as always, no matter what. Now, Yale has a whole collection of Assure Lock 2s. They have the regular Assure Lock 2, the Assure Lock 2 Touch, that includes a fingerprint reader, the Assure Lock 2 Plus, which we have here today and supports Apple HomeKit. And then there is a new Yale Approach lock, which is Yale's first retrofit lock, similar to that Aqara U200 that I reviewed on the channel recently. The Assure Lock 2 and the Assure Lock 2 Touch do both support HomeKit, but out of this whole lineup, only the Assure Lock 2 Plus has support for HomeKit and Apple HomeKit. So of course that is the one that I'm interested in. You can buy the lock in both Bluetooth only or Wi-Fi versions. The Bluetooth version is around $200 and the Wi-Fi version is about $290. It comes in satin nickel, bronze, or black colors. You may be wondering whether you need the Bluetooth or the Wi-Fi version. Honestly, if you're just planning on using this lock in the Apple Home ecosystem, meaning you can still use it with Siri, the Home app, HomeKit automations, and of course Apple HomeKit, then I'd probably just get the Bluetooth version, to be honest, and save you a little bit of money. You'll still be able to control the lock remotely as long as you have an Apple Home Hub, like an Apple TV or a HomePod, which is required for HomeKit support anyways. Now the Wi-Fi module, which is like this little cartridge that you can install, will allow you to use the Yale app, Google Home, or SmartThings to control the lock remotely. And again, it's not needed for HomeKit, but you could always get one of these little cartridges later after your initial installation if you decide maybe you need one of these later down the road. Now, before we get this installed, let's head outside for a quick word from our sponsor today, the Beatbot AquaSense Pro pool cleaning robot. This thing is a game changer for pool maintenance. It features an award-winning, eco-friendly, cordless design, the first ever 5-in-1 cleaning system tackling floors, walls, water lines, and surfaces, while also clarifying your water with the included clarifying agent. And with its 9 powerful motors, this thing is just a beast. It has smart path optimization powered by a quad-core 1.8 gigahertz processor. That means it knows exactly where to go for the most efficient clean. It also supports up to 9.5 hours of surface cleaning and 5 hours of floor cleaning with a 10,400 milliamp battery. Now check out its wall cleaning action with up to 5,500 gallons per hour suction. It will leave the walls of your pool super clean. It has smart return and surface parking, so you can easily pull it out when it's done cleaning. Charging is a breeze with the cordless dock. Just drop it in to start charging. Really love this. Controlling it is also very easy. You can use the buttons on the robot, but of course you can also use the Beatbot app to really fine-tune your cleaning preferences and even review past cleaning jobs. The The device gets over-the-air updates, so it's always improving. With independent roller brushes, you can expect effective coverage from this pool robot. From dirty to sparkling clean, Beatbot really does deliver. No more tangled cords or half-done jobs. With Beatbot, your pool is clean, safe, and ready for fun. Get your Beatbot today using the link in the description and make pool maintenance a breeze. Thanks again, Beatbot, for sponsoring today's video. I've been installing so many smart locks in my home that I actually ran out of doors to install them on and test. So I decided this lock would be perfect for my brother who just moved into a brand new home. By the way, I will leave a link to my smart lock YouTube playlist below in the description. That includes videos for all of the smart locks that I've covered here on the channel, in case you want to watch any of those after this video to compare or anything like that. Inside the box, we have our getting started guide. There is an installation manual with templates for drilling holes and all that in case you need it. The front part of the lock, the Wi-Fi module here. This is the version with the Wi-Fi module. That's what they sent me. Here's the back side of the lock with the thumb turn. And this is also where the batteries will go. Mounting plate, 4 AA batteries included, and all the hardware needed, including the deadbolt, strike plate, door sensor, and installation screws. You'll start by removing your old lock. Again, this is a brand new home. The hole you see here in the door is pretty standard for homes in the US, but again, you can refer to that installation guide and all the templates to make any adjustments if needed. I've installed so many smart door locks that I kind of skimmed over the directions. Not always a good thing. I first installed the new deadbolt, but I installed it upside down. So, don't be a dummy like me. Read the directions thoroughly. If I had, I would have realized that there is a clear mark showing you which direction is up on the deadbolt. So I redid that and installed it the correct way. The lock comes with these very little screws for your deadbolt. Now your lock is really only as secure as the hardware that's holding it in place. So you can use your own security screws, which are really just longer screws. The manual does even tell you about this. So that's what I did. This will just help hold down the fort a little longer if someone's trying to kick in the door. Next, we put on the front keypad part. Slide the cable underneath the deadbolt. This does fit perfectly in the round hole on the door. I installed the mounting bracket. Then we attach the back part of the lock to that mounting bracket, and a single screw will secure that in place. You want to make sure the deadbolt can easily slide in and out of the hole where the strike plate is. I removed the old strike plate and found that there was a little resistance here. Having used, again, so many smart locks in the past, I know that this could definitely be an issue for any smart lock. So I drilled out a little bit more room in the hole for the deadbolt so it could go in and out smoothly. I popped in that Wi-Fi module since Yale did send it to me. Again, not really necessary if you just want to use this with HomeKit. Then I added my 4 AA batteries. This cool little animation on here tells us that the lock is ready to be set up. So I started with the Yale app, created an account real quick, scanned the QR code that's on the back of the lock. There are 2 QR codes here. One is for the Yale app and one for HomeKit, which we'll get to in a minute. I went through the installation guide for the door sensor because I haven't installed that yet. It's nice that they actually give you a flush mount option as well as a surface mount option. So that's where you could basically hide the door sensor completely. Now I didn't want to drill into my brother's new door frame without his permission, so I went ahead and just went with the surface mount installation. Went through a few prompts so the app could detect and configure the lock, and that's it for the installation. Now it's time to set up HomeKit so we can use that home key feature. To do that, go into your lock settings and find Apple HomeKit integration. Choose your home if you have multiple, like I do, and then put in the HomeKit setup code that's shown on the back of the lock. You can turn on express mode, which allows you to tap the lock with your iPhone without having to unlock your phone. You can, of course, turn this off if you don't like that. Now I do, so I like to leave that on. Then all you have to do is tap your iPhone or Apple Watch to the lock to open it up. This always works really well, real snappy, and just such a cool feature. Any residents that have access in your Apple Home app will have a home key and can do the same thing with their iPhone or Apple Watch. You can also lock and unlock the door in the Home app. You can use Siri as well. This can also all be done remotely. Again, you will need an Apple TV, HomePod, or a HomePod Mini for any of this HomeKit integration, but as long as you have that, you can control this lock remotely from anywhere in the world through the Apple Home app. The keypad looks really nice, I think. When not in use, the screen just goes completely black except for that Yale logo. Has this like nice, matte black looking type of design. You will need to tap that logo to wake up the screen to input your access code. It is a touch screen, so there's no tactile feedback. You can also tap the Yale logo when leaving for just a quick way to lock the door on your way out. If your lock ever completely runs out of battery, you can hold a 9-volt battery to the bottom, the little prongs on the bottom of the lock, just for quick temporary power, long enough to unlock the door. Personally, I'd probably rather just have like an old school key as a backup. I think that's probably a little easier to carry around than a 9-volt battery, but hey, it's there if you need it. Just make sure to change the batteries when they're low, and this won't be an issue. The Yale app also gives you some added features such as auto lock and unlock. The lock can automatically lock itself after a set period of time, and it can unlock when it detects your phone nearby. This uses a combination of Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, and GPS, so it will need that Wi-Fi module in order to take advantage of this type of feature through the Yale app. Now, let's talk about the pros and cons. Now, this is my brother's first smart lock, so it's been kind of cool to get his opinions on this, and compare it to my thoughts as somebody who's used a ton of smart locks. Now, let's first talk about what I don't like, or maybe what you should be aware of. Now, first up, this does not have a physical keyhole. Many other smart locks that I've used, like those from Aqara, Schlage, SwitchBot, and others, will still allow you to use a physical key in the event you need it. Now, personally, I haven't used a physical key at my house in years, but I don't know, I guess it's kind of nice to know I have the option should I ever need it for some reason. Again, this one does give you that like 9-volt battery powered backup option as your backup, I guess, if your battery ever dies on the lock. Also, a fingerprint reader would be nice, but not the end of the world to me, especially since it has support for HomeKey. Again, Yale does have other Assure locks with HomeKit support that have a fingerprint scanner or physical keys even, but no Apple HomeKey support on those. So I have used other locks like the Aqara U100 or even the U200 that has support for all that, like PIN codes, fingerprints, physical keys, all that stuff. So just something to note there if any of that's important to you. And while I really do love the look of it, the touch buttons are not super sensitive, so sometimes I may not tap the right number or it registers a tap when I didn't want it to. I don't know, all that stuff. You guys just gotta be careful when you're putting in a PIN code. There is an audible sound and the little digital button will flash when you tap it, but sometimes that can be easy to miss, especially on a bright day, or if you're doing other things like talking to somebody or on your phone or something when you're trying to unlock the door. And lastly, I think it does connect to HomeKit over Bluetooth, so using the Home app can be a little bit laggy at times. This is kind of normal with Bluetooth. HomeKey, on the other hand, does work really well. That's always very fast. The Schlage Encode Plus, another smart lock with Apple HomeKey support, actually connects over Thread, which is really nice. So Thread is typically going to be a little bit faster and probably more reliable than Bluetooth. So this one, at least it does have that Wi-Fi, that optional Wi-Fi module that you can add to the lock if that's something you decide you need. But again, using HomeKit, I kind of would prefer Thread over something like Bluetooth, but it's not uncommon. A lot of HomeKit locks do use Bluetooth. It can just be a little bit slow in the Home app when using that. Now let's talk about the things that I do like. One, this is arguably the best looking HomeKey smart lock with the keypad that I've seen. Yeah, I probably should have gotten the satin nickel for this door. Too little too late. It would have matched the existing hardware better. Nonetheless, I do like that they do have those different options available, so you can find one that matches your door. Again, I think the lock itself looks really, really nice. I love the animations and everything. It looks really high end and feels pretty high end as well. It is nice to have the auto lock and auto unlock features for those who would like to use them. The ability to easily add new guests and PIN codes is great. You can even set PIN codes to work during certain hours or days of the week, or just create temporary passwords that only work between certain dates and will expire afterwards. All that's really nice. I do also like that there's a door sensor included. So I've seen other locks that have different door sensing type of capabilities like the Aqara locks and stuff, but they're kind of hit or miss. I think using a door sensor is the best way to actually know the position of the door, whether it's open or closed. So I do like that they included this. Unfortunately, that door sensor is not exposed to a HomeKit. So you won't be able to like use it there for your automations, but you can get those like door sensing capabilities and the auto locking and stuff like that with this door sensor in the Schlage app. And of course, Apple HomeKey, just such a great feature as always. This works great on this lock, and it's also what my brother said he likes most about having this lock, again, Apple HomeKey. All in all, it's a very nice, high quality smart lock with HomeKey support. Now, if HomeKey is the primary way you plan to use the lock like me, then I think this is a great option. That said, there are locks out there available that do have HomeKey support, that also have more features, and some even cost less. So, something to consider. If you want to check out my smart lock playlist with videos on all of the smart locks I've covered, most of which do support Apple HomeKey as well, you can find that right here. Let me know in the comments below if you have any questions about this lock specifically, or what feature is most important to you when you're picking out a smart lock. Thanks again to Beatbot for sponsoring today's video. Be sure to subscribe for more smart home content just like this every week. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.